Hello. This video will review how to apply to the 2020 Workforce Retraining Initiative grant. Upon receiving the link to the application, go ahead and review details of the application itself. When you're ready to apply, go ahead and click on the Apply button. If you have applied to an opportunity in the Amplifund applicant portal, go ahead and enter in the email and password used to register. If it's your first time logging in, go ahead and click on the Register button to register. Upon clicking Register, you'll be brought to a page where you'll be able to create a new applicant portal registration account. Go ahead and enter in an email address, a password, and confirm that password. And you'll be brought to the contact information section where you'll be able to enter in information about the person registering. Please note that any field with an asterisk is a required field. Go ahead and populate the required fields and any optional fields you wish as well. In the organization information section, go ahead and check the same as above box to populate this section with any information included above. Type in your organization name. Make sure the address, city, state, and postal code are also populated. When all required fields have been populated, go ahead and click the green Register button to go ahead and get started. Upon clicking Register, you'll be brought to a Terms and Conditions page. Scroll down and click the green button to accept the terms and conditions. You'll be brought back to the Opportunity page, where this time you'll be able to click on Apply to begin the application itself. The first section of the application is called the Project Information section. You can reference all sections by noting this timeline here at the top of the page. The timeline will allow you to jump back and forth throughout the different sections, and will also be a way for you to track progress as you're moving through the application itself. To begin entering information into the Project Information section, go ahead and enter in your application name, and enter in the total amount of award you're requesting. Total amount of award you're requesting is going to include any grant funding you're requesting and anything you're matching. So for example, if I'm requesting $10,000 and I'm going to match that with $5,000, my total amount of award requested is going to be $15,000. And that includes the $10,000 I'm requesting and the $5,000 that I'm matching. Go ahead and also enter that $5,000 match amount here to break it out. If you have any in-kind match, be sure that's also included in the total of the total amount of award requested, and also be sure that it's noted here. Scroll down to the primary contact information section to include primary contact information for this particular application. Any field with an asterisk is required. Go ahead and fill out any of these fields. Once this section has been completed, go ahead and mark as complete. Please note, all sections must be marked as complete to eventually successfully submit your application. To move on to the next section, which is application forms, go ahead and click on Application Forms or click the Save and Continue button. If you want to jump to any other sections, you can go ahead and click on any of those sections here. The application form section contains all the application forms for this application. You'll be able to interact with each form by clicking on the form, viewing the questions, and typing in information into the required fields. Type in the applicant name and continue to fill out any pertinent information here. Please note that fields marked with an asterisk are all required fields. Move through and fill out every field to the best of your ability. Please note any standardization or suggested structure for specific field. Once all fields have been populated, you can go ahead and mark as complete. To move on to the next application form, you can click Save and Continue, and it'll take you to the next form in sequence, or you can jump back up to the application form section here and access any form you want. The project details page contains questions that require narrative answers. Please note the character limits in the text boxes. In order to answer these questions, go ahead and type your answers directly into the text box. Note that the character limit counter will update as you type each answer. If you choose, you can also copy and paste from a different document into the text box here, but note that the character limit will always apply. Scroll through, make sure you read all instructions carefully, and as you're typing your answers, make sure that you adhere to all of the character limits. Once you're done and all the narratives have been entered, you can go ahead and mark as complete. Remember that each application form needs to be completed and marked as complete in order to move on. If you click Mark as Complete and all the forms haven't been populated, you'll receive an error message and a red flag telling you which questions need to be answered. To save progress you've made and come back to it later, you can go ahead and click Save. And you can also save and continue to jump to the next page. Note that when I clicked Save and Continue, it took me to the next page in sequence. The next page asks to upload letters of support. Go ahead and click the Choose File Radio button here and upload your documents. Please make sure that letters are combined into one attachment, as there's one attachment here. Once you've done this, you'll be able to go ahead and mark as complete. The final section is the Terms and Conditions section and contact information. Please go ahead and click on the PDF of Grant Agreement Requirements and Conditions, read the document, and once you've read it, please acknowledge by checking the box that you have read and accept the Grant Agreement Requirements and Conditions. Also, type in your first and last name and indicate the date you're signing. Scroll down to access relevant information about who to contact and how to get in touch when you have questions. Once you've done this, you can mark as complete. Please note that the application form section provides a guide to the progress you've made. So you'll be able to see any application form that's been marked as completed or any application form that is yet to be complete. What this table is showing me right now is that I can go through and part 1 has been complete, part 4 is complete, but in order for me to successfully submit my application, I'm still going to need to work on these 2 forms and eventually mark them as completed. When you're ready to access the budget page, go ahead and either click on Budget from the top of the timeline, or you'll be able to click Save and Continue to go to the budget section. Upon clicking the budget section, you'll be brought to your budget template. The budget template is going to allow you to enter in proposed costs for this opportunity. Go ahead and access the category you want to add cost to and click on the plus sign next to that category name. Please ensure that you're reading the description set aside in this category that has information pertinent to how you should populate this budget. When you're ready to populate your budget, go ahead and type in the name for your line item that you want to add to this category, add in a description if applicable, and enter in the direct cost. Just like on that first page, the direct cost here is going to be the total amount of grant funded you're going to be spending on this line item, plus any cash or in-kind match. So for example, if the total cost was going to be $2,000 grant funded and $1,000 was going to be from match, I'm going to type in $3,000 here. In order to add that match value of 1,000, I'm going to click Calculate Match, choose Yes, and here in the match amount, I can enter that either as a percentage or a dollar amount. Click on dollar and enter in 1,000. As soon as you enter in 1,000, this will update and this will say that of this 3,000, 2,000 is grant funded and 1,000 is match. Go ahead and click Save to save any changes to your line item. Once you've entered all line items and you've added everything you want to your budget, you can go ahead and mark your budget as completed. This, just like all other sections, must be marked as completed in order to eventually submit your application. When you're ready to move on to the performance plan, go ahead and click on the Performance Plan button from the timeline. Please note the performance plan goals have asterisks next to them and are required. In order to start adding a goal, you can click on the plus sign next to the question here. Also, please note the instructions. So for the milestone throughout the project goal, you'll have to list at least 5 anticipated milestones. Go ahead and start typing in your milestones, add a description if necessary, and type in the date you're going to complete it. Click Save to save it. Because you need to enter in 5, you'll have to go back and add in an additional goal. Go through the same process until you have 5 here. Other goals that you can interact with are the enrollment rate goal, where you have to enter in a % achieved. Please note that the % achieved for enrollment rate must be reflected as a decimal. So 25% would be 0.25. Go ahead and click on Save. Go through the rest of your performance plan goals to add accordingly. There's also an other goal section here that allows you to enter in any other goals that are not yet specified with the standard goals provided to you. Once all of the required goals have been entered, you'll be able to mark this section as complete. When you're ready to submit your application, you can go to the Submit page. If all forms and sections have been marked as complete, your timeline will reflect all check marks here. As we can see, not all forms have been completed and the performance plan hasn't been completed, which is why we're getting this message here in red. Please make sure you're going back and you're filling out all required fields and marking all sections as complete. Once you submit your application, you'll be able to receive an email verifying the date and time you submitted your application. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Good luck with your applications.